Ty Burr.
I'm Wesley Morris.
I'm still here.
You are?
Yes, but I don't think Joaquin Pheonix is going to be here for much longer.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you take the premise of this movie. Like what part of the conceit you both accept, believe, find entertaining, and which parts you don't.
Well,
you know, it's an interesting.
I think most people aren't going to find it entertaining at all. Although I found some of it entertaining.
It's very interesting. It's not conventionally entertaining.
Well, we should say it's it's a hoax, or more to the point, it's a fiction. We should make clear. It's Casey Affleck has not made a documentary. He's made a mockumentary about Joaquin Phoenix playing a movie star named Joaquin Phoenix who goes off the rails, grows a beard, and decides he's going to become a rapper. Right. And there's a written by Casey Affleck and Joaquin Phoenix credit. They're actors playing smaller roles. It is a fiction.
Right, and in that it's somewhat interesting and also pretty frustrating. Mm-hmm. Because for me, it's unclear what exactly the target is. I mean, one of the things that
we're part of the target.
Well, right, but I mean that's a pretty diffuse. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty diffuse target, mm-hmm. And I like the idea that they wanted to try to find a way to take the sort of Sacha Baron Cohen approach to celebrity. And it works in some ways, but at the same time, it kind of exposes, like with the Sacha Baron Cohen project, it exposes its limitations almost immediately. Right. For me, the first barrier to this movie working in a really interesting way is when he becomes obsessed with getting Sean Combs to produce his record. Right. And he says something that is so interesting to me and so true that you can't stop thinking about it for the rest of the movie, which is, Joaquin Phoenix has grown this giant beard. He looks like Zach Galifianakis. Mm-hmm. And John Belushi at the same time. And he goes in and wants Puffy to produce this record. And Sean Combs basically says, look, you can't come at me like this. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't come to acting without some degree of professionalism. You can't come into the music industry with this level of unprofessionalism. And I just kept thinking about this movie's sort of somewhat semi-professional approach to movie.
Well, it's willfully unprofessional, and the movie making is self-indulgent. But I also think that Phoenix's performance in this is so extreme that I'm actually in admiration, even as I realize that by far the majority of moviegoers will not only hate this movie for where it takes them and for grinding their nose in the behavior of an unpleasant star, but they will hate him because they will now think that he is the guy that he's playing in this movie.
Well, that's because for the year this movie was being filmed, he was that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And we do not want and that's why I'm saying that we're the butt of the joke, is that we do not like our stars who should be serving at our sufferance, fooling us.
Well, I mean, conversely, I would also argue that one of the frustrations with this movie for me is that Joaquin Phoenix is sort of an unlikely person to tell this joke. Do you know what I mean? Which creates a degree which cuts the meta-ness in half for me. Like, I don't think
so. You're saying he's poorly cast.
He is poorly cast as himself. Like he's great as himself in some ways, but at the same time, he's not the person. But his going off the rails is believable. Like, it's funny. If you believe this movie is actually a documentary, it's insufferable. Right. If you believe it as a vanity project, it's extremely interesting. And yet,
but also insufferable.
But in a different way. I don't know. I like that people will parse over this movie's reality and fiction the same way they're parsing over whether the Inception is a dream or real.
And I also think what it doesn't answer is who Joaquin Phoenix is.
Well, because it doesn't really matter. He's not a star. He's an actor. Right. Which is a huge thing. Which is a thing to.
But really even beyond that, who's the real person beyond it? The movie never solves it.
I have to say,
isn't interested in it.
I didn't care. I guess that's the sort of most important thing. Like, I'm still here. Sorry. Sorry for you.
I actually think that was part of the game plan. To me, it's a willful act of career suicide.
But he'll be fine. I mean,
no, I don't think he wants to be fine. I think I don't see how you come back from a movie like this to be cast in a movie where anybody will take you seriously. I don't think that's necessarily
But that
what
was
he
sort
wants.
of his problem right before he did this too. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's a really strange way to solve a sort of psychological problem.
It's a strange movie. You are warned, but you're also invited to a career defenestration unlike we've rarely seen. I'm Ty Burr.
I don't think it's as deadly as you seem to think it is, but I mean, it is interesting and up to a point worth watching. That's I'm Still Here. I'm Wesley Morris.
And once again, I'm still here, and I'm Ty Burr.